Hi, welcome to Gear Garage. I'm Zach. This is my little internet show about whitewater things. And today I want to talk about a do-it-yourself hand wash system. For those of you that do multi-day river trips, you need some sort, or just go camping, whatever, you need some sort of hand wash system since you can't bring your sink out with you. And so what I'm going to show you is as a way you can do it yourself. There's a really cool one that Downriver makes. It's the one we're starting to use for our commercial trips. They're 120 bucks a piece. I like them a lot, but if you don't want to spend that much and you want something simpler that you can make yourself, this is it. The thing I like about making it yourself, and this is the one we use on our trips for a long time, is because the hand wash systems break. Like little things crack and break, and if you make it, you know how to fix it. And if you buy all the parts, you can hold on to the parts and fix it at home really easily. So I really like this system. It's pretty bomber, although the Downriver one they have is a little bit better. So we're starting to go with those. So first of all, the things you need are one of these little pumps. This is a little one-way fuel primer pump. And you basically just put this on the ground and you just step on it and it moves the water through. A lot of people will put like a base below this, like a metal plate or a wood plate. You're welcome to do that, but it also works fine on the ground. If you use it right against the ground, it can get dirt and wear out quicker, but these are fairly easy to get and replace. So this is the first thing you need. You need braided, I like this braided pipe or tube, and you can find this at a hardware store. A couple of just clamps to clamp them on the buckets. I'll show you that in a minute. These, I like to get stainless steel hose clamps. You get a little bag of them. This size here is 1/4 inch to 5/8 inch. That's like it goes how small and how big it goes. It's a good size. And this copper pipe that you kind of have to buy as a kit, as these ice maker kits, but this fits perfectly inside the pipe, and you'll see how this works in a second. So it's pretty straightforward. You just like basically cut the lengths of this that you want, attach them to this pump, and then use hose clamps to get them on. So here's the final product. This is not that hard, but again, you just shove the pipe over, hose clamp them down, which is nice because you can replace these if they rust or break, and you get something that looks like this. What you do with the copper pipe that's really cool, you can see this is straight right now. If you heat this tubing up, you can shove pieces of the copper pipe down. And what that allows you to do is have a really rigid pipe that you can bend to a shape that you want. And you can change, like the copper pipe is super nice for changing. So let me kind of show you how this works. If you have a couple buckets, and I'll explain the bucket system in a minute because I'm pretty jazzed on this bucket system. You basically take this thing, set it on the ground. In the gray water bucket, you just take one of these really simple clips. These are at the hardware store everywhere. You can use something else. And just clip it onto the bucket. This is the outflow. And then where the water comes from, you just clip this onto the bucket as well. And here you go. You have a nice hand wash system. Again, this pump is on the ground and it pushes it out. The beauty of this copper thing is you can bend it to be exactly what you want it to look like. And so it can go shoot at you if you want, it can shoot up in the air if you want, but you can bend it to be a nice look. So when you're washing your hands, it kind of shoots down your hands and it keeps its form. Again, you just heat this up, you gotta boil water, heat the tube up, and then this pipe that you can get in here or somewhere else, you just shove down and it's super adjustable. I want to talk about the buckets really quick. I think the buckets are the biggest innovation in the hand wash. And you'll notice they're different colors and different sizes. They don't have to be different colors, they don't have to be different sizes, but the one thing I like is using a white bucket for clean water. This just says white clean, so I'm a big fan of that. And having this bucket taller, because when you're washing your hands, if they're equal sized buckets, this water could theoretically splash out of here into your clean water. So having some distance, you want some distance here, so when you're washing it, water down here doesn't kind of shoot up into here. So having it shorter really helps with that. The other thing I like to do, I personally like a gray bucket for gray water. This just to me says, this will never be used for clean water. You can use gray, you can use black, you can just all know that the white bucket, the short is the gray bucket, but it just sets some separation. So this is always clean water, this is always gray water. Now, one thing that's really cool about this system and why I like these buckets as well is storage. So once you're done putting this away, storing all this stuff in your boat can be a little tricky. And so this whole system can go in this white bucket and there's plenty of space in between the gray bucket and the white bucket. So you have a nice compact system. You shove this in your boat somewhere, you rig it on, and then when you're ready to go, it's all self-contained. You pull the gray bucket off, all the pieces you need are ready to go. Boom, you put it together. So hopefully that all makes sense. It's a really nice system that we've used. I'm really proud of it. It's the big advantage of it is if you make it, you know how to fix it. And these things, over time, they get tons of use. In hard situations, they get dirty and they do break. So if you have the parts, you can go home and fix them later. So if you want to make this, again, you can buy most of this at the hardware store. The hardest thing to find is this little fuel primer pump, and you might have to buy that on the internet. I did create a little Amazon shopping list. I'll put a link down in the show notes below to where you can just click it. It has all the parts. You can just get into Amazon and buy them if you want. The buckets are on there too, but I actually go to, I think it's Uline, and buy the buckets directly there because you can choose the color, the size, whatever. And I'll also put a link to the downriver hand wash system. It's a bit nicer, it's a bit more expensive, but if you want the best, I definitely would go with the downriver one. So that's it for this episode. If you have thoughts, ideas to make this better, more sanitary, easier, cheaper, cleaner, anything, this is a big deal in terms of river trip sanitation. Washing your hands is the single most important thing you can be doing, is wash your hands on a regular basis. So having this work well is really important. So please add any comments about how I can do this better or any questions you have. All right, thanks, bye.